What's up, my hunting brothers and sisters? Today we are taking a look at this awesome bow vise from Baker Archery Products, a significant upgrade to my little archery shop, or your home archery shop, or professional shop. So stay tuned. All right, so I have, for as long as I can remember, worked on my own bows at my own quote-unquote home little archery shop, basically just as a workbench in my barn shop area. Yeah, many years ago, I decided I wasn't letting pro shops work on my bows. There are a lot of great ones. Now there are a lot of great ones relative to what there used to be 25 plus years ago. So I just got into working on my own stuff. So for years, bow vise was always an issue. I had this homemade fabricated one that I did years ago that clamped on the limbs of a bow. Then a couple years ago, I upgraded to what many have seen probably before. This is a bike clamp that you can get on Amazon for $30 to $40 range, something like that. You screw it down to a tabletop, and you loosen it up and it pivots. And if you loosen it, well, I guess it doesn't spin this way without loosening this Allen bolt. It works. It grabs onto the grip of your bow. It worked, kind of. But I decided I wanted to upgrade. So I had been seeing online a lot of shops and professional archers that were using this Baker bow vise. So I jumped on Baker's website. I reached out to Butch Baker, the owner, asked him some questions about it and everything. He was great. He answered all my questions. These are all made in the USA. I believe he's in the Utah area, as I recall. And I bought one of his bow vises. So I bought the Pro Shop model with a stand, and then he also has a ball mount model as well. The Pro Mount model, I believe, if I recall, was $305. That's basically from this plate up. And then the stand was like another extra $60. The ball mount version was, I think I'm gonna say around $280, $285 for the ball mount version. You would have to get the post if you wanted to elevate it. You don't need this post. You could mount this right directly to your workbench. This just, I find, helps get the bow up a little more into my line of sight where I don't have to crouch down to work on things. So a significant price increase from what I was using, obviously. However, just in my 3 weeks or so messing with this bow vise, the adjustability, the quality of the build and everything is worth, in my opinion, that premium price. Now there's some other bow vises out there on the market. This just happened to be the features that I wanted in a bow vise. So few features about this vise. This thing flips up out of the way so you can bolt it down to whatever you want. You have to remove this pin right here, which just has a cotter key, and you move the pin and then you can bolt it down to your bench or to the top of a post. You can get a floor stand. I think he might even sell a floor stand for this kit. And then being hinged right here allows you to level this up and down. So what we're looking at here is I've got a couple ways to level the bow. When I put it in here, we can tilt it this way, side to side, or loosening this screw here. And this is one of those spring-loaded levers where you pull it up and you can reposition it. And then we can rotate the bow this way, okay? So, and then tighten it down. So real quick, how does this work? This is gonna grab the grip area of your bow. Let me throw my bow in here. And I was actually just setting my bow up recently for an upcoming trip. I was retuning things for some little bit different arrows than I normally hunt with. And this bow vise, I used it and it was great. So you're gonna put the grip into this padded jaws area and you're just gonna tighten this down. That's all there is to it, okay? And then from there, you can get out a string level, whatever string level you want, whatever leveling system you want for your bow to make sure your string is level, both north, south, east, west. I just happen to do that in the orientation that my shop sits, but you get what I'm saying. So anyway, so you can sit here and you could tighten this down. You can rotate this, get it perfectly level, tighten it down. It's going to hold it very rigidly. And then you can sit here and twist it in and out. In my case, it'd be north-south. It pretty much is infinite at that point in time. For example, if you wanted to say, tie something in on your string and you want it, you could turn it like this. You can flip this thing completely over, do whatever you want with the bow, okay? Really helped in setting up my first and second axis adjustments on my sight. Once I knew everything was plumb. Third axis you have to do at full draw if you know anything about that. But really just, again, helped with everything in this setup. The only limitation that I'm finding in this setup is there are times where it would be nice for me, rather than standing looking at my bow this way, to have it so my bow was around the corner of my bench. So basically it would be setting pointed like this. So the one area where this Bow Vise doesn't have any option is how to twist this entire head, say 90 degrees or another area. I was talking with another shop owner in kind of my area I stopped in. He had one of these. He's like, the only thing I wish that they had in this was a way to pivot the entire head around 90 degrees, 180 degrees, whatever. What I think I'm going to do with that is I think that I'm going to find either some sort of heavier duty bearinged turntable system that I could mount below this stand. Something that's not too tall. Maybe I'd now 3D print a lot of stuff. I might using a carbon fiber type of filament with some bearings and some pinpoints. I may design something where I can get that thing to pivot. You would have to have that base nice and level. And that is one of the things when I put it on this bench, I did shim it and everything, so I got the base itself nice and level. Even though you can take everything out up here, it just really helps. But definitely if you pivoted it, you want to try and make it as level as you could. Again, you can adjust it with all this, but it would make it much easier, especially if you had it plumb this way. You want to turn it 90 degrees and remain exactly plumb with all your settings. So that is definitely an upgrade to this, but that I think I'm going to make here going down the road. But I absolutely love it. These padded jaws, they're not going to screw up the finish of your grip or anything like that. It's not going to damage your bow in any way. It holds it really well. This is easy to turn, easy to clamp down. So it's a pretty slick Bow Vise system. You could use this for other things in your workshop. I mean, if you needed to work on, you know, whatever, some sort of widget. I'm just going to throw this the old one in here, just something in your workshop, you know, boom. And now you got something to hold any other thing that you're working on, whether it's hunting related or not. Another thing that you could use this for is, I'm going to take, and you can rotate this over also the other way. So I could have turned my bow the other direction, would be a part of a, we'll call it a pew-pew for YouTube purposes, because, you know, we don't want to get demonetized. But you could hold any part or an entire pew-pew device, a metal pill slinging device in any orientation that you wanted in this thing to work on, to assemble, to clean, you know, however you wanted to do it. Again, infinite positions, whatever you want to do. So again, another hunting application for this Bow Vise. Again, an archery tool that can double as many other tools in your shop. And again, I had it set up this way so the bow is facing that way. We could easily switch it this way, and we could bring the bow in from this direction if that's what you choose, the orientation that you want. And we can clamp it down. It'll set a little bit wider for the pew-pew there. So there you go. And now hold your bow that direction. Again, spin it any way you choose. Very quick, very simple, very well, stretch up there, very well made. So yeah, that's it. real quick video down and dirty on the Baker Archery products. Bow Vise, I will put a link to his website in the discussion below. I have no affiliation with him. I paid for it with my own money, which was a great guy to deal with. So yeah, check him out. Made in the USA. Obnoxious green color. Doesn't get any better than that, I guess, does it? If you don't like the color, you can paint it, I guess, whatever you wanted. I kind of like the green. All right, as always, God bless, stay safe. Deer seasons will be here in a couple months, and I can't wait. So, as always, it's a new day in the outdoors.